22 black actor deaths that still haunt Hollywood. Some legends leave the world quietly. Others leave questions that echo for decades. From Tupac and Biggie to Aaliyah and Whitney Houston, these icons didn't just entertain millions, they shaped culture, challenged systems, and inspired entire generations. Yet their stories ended in ways that still shock fans today. What really happened behind the headlines? And why do these losses still haunt Hollywood and the music world years later? Today on Black Excellence Legends, we revisit the lives and legacies of extraordinary black artists whose influence never faded, even after tragedy struck. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Black Excellence Legends, like this video, and drop a comment below. Which of these legends do you believe left the greatest impact on history? Tupac Shakur. Few figures in modern music carry a legacy as powerful and as tragic as Tupac Shakur, 25 to 1996. Born in New York City in 1971, Tupac Amaru Shakur grew up surrounded by activism and hardship. His mother, Afeni Shakur, had been a member of the Black Panther Party, and that political awareness shaped his worldview from an early age. When Tupac entered the entertainment world in the early 1990s, he brought more than talent. He carried a voice for a generation wrestling with inequality, violence, and identity. While millions remember him primarily as a groundbreaking rapper, Tupac was also emerging as a promising actor. His film debut in Juice, 1992, revealed a magnetic on-screen presence. Critics praised his portrayal of Bishop, a troubled teenager consumed by power and fear. He followed that performance with roles in Poetic Justice, 1993, alongside Janet Jackson, and Above the Rim, 1994, proving he possessed the emotional depth required for dramatic storytelling. Hollywood had begun to notice that Tupac could command a screen just as powerfully as a microphone. By 1996, Tupac had become one of the most influential artists in hip-hop. His double album, All Eyes on Me, sold millions of copies and cemented his place in music history. Yet the success unfolded during one of the most turbulent periods in rap culture, the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. Tensions between artists and record labels had escalated publicly, fueling media attention and personal conflict. On September 7, 1996, after attending a Mike Tyson boxing match in Las Vegas, Tupac was riding in a BMW driven by Death Row Records executive Suge Knight. While stopped at a red light on East Flamingo Road, a white Cadillac pulled alongside them. Gunfire erupted, and Tupac was struck multiple times. He was rushed to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada and fought for his life for nearly a week. On September 13, 1996, he died at just 25 years old. Despite decades of investigation, the case remained unsolved for many years, adding layers of mystery to his legacy. Tupac's death shocked the world not only because of the violence, but because so many believed his creative journey had only just begun. Today, Tupac's poetry, music, and performances continue to inspire new generations. Beyond the headlines, his story reminds us how powerful art can emerge from struggle, and how urgently society must work toward a future where talent and potential are not cut short by violence. The notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace. In 1972, Wallace grew up in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood, a community that profoundly shaped both his life and his music. Raised by a single mother who worked long hours as a preschool teacher, he developed an early talent for storytelling, turning the realities of street life into vivid, lyrical narratives. Biggie's rise to fame was rapid. After being discovered by Sean Diddy Combs, he released his debut album, Ready to Die, in 1994, which quickly became one of the most influential rap albums of its era. Songs like Juicy, Big Papa, and One More Chance showcased his unmistakable voice and his remarkable ability to blend introspective storytelling with commercial appeal. Critics praised his lyrical precision, rhythmic control, and cinematic descriptions of urban life.
Although music remained his primary focus,
Biggie also began exploring opportunities in film and media. He appeared in the 1997 hip-hop documentary Rhyme and Reason, and industry insiders believed he could eventually transition into larger acting roles. His charisma, humor, and natural confidence suggested a performer capable of crossing multiple forms of entertainment. However, Biggie's career unfolded during the same volatile period that surrounded Tupac Shakur. Media narratives and personal conflicts fueled the growing East Coast-West Coast rivalry, placing artists at the center of a cultural storm. After Tupac's murder in September 1996, tensions within the music industry intensified, and many feared further violence. Those fears became reality on March 9, 1997. After attending a music industry party hosted by Vibe magazine at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, Biggie left the event in a GMC Suburban as part of a small convoy. While stopped at a red light on Wilshire Boulevard, a dark Chevrolet Impala pulled up beside the vehicle. The driver fired several shots into the SUV. Wallace was struck multiple times and rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where doctors pronounced him dead shortly after arrival. He was only 24 years old. Like Tupac's killing, Biggie's murder remained unsolved for many years, leaving a lasting sense of injustice within the music community. Just weeks after his death, his second album, Life After Death, was released and went on to sell more than 10 million copies in the United States, becoming one of the best-selling rap albums ever. Christopher Wallace's legacy endures not only through his music, but also through the artistry he brought to storytelling. His life reminds us that creative brilliance can emerge from the most challenging circumstances, and that every voice capable of inspiring millions deserves the chance to be heard for far longer than fate allowed. Aaliyah Dana Houghton. The rise of Aaliyah Dana Houghton, 22 to 2001, remains one of the most poignant stories in modern entertainment. Born in Brooklyn, New York in 1979 and raised in Detroit, Aaliyah showed remarkable talent from a very young age. Encouraged by a musical family, her uncle Barry Hankerson later founded Blackground Records. She entered the industry while still a teenager. By the mid-1990s, her smooth vocals, graceful stage presence, and distinctive style had helped redefine contemporary R&B. Her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, 1994, went double platinum in the United States. Yet it was her later collaborations with producers Timbaland and Missy Elliott that truly reshaped the sound of modern pop and R&B. Albums like One in a Million, 1996, and Aaliyah, 2001, introduced innovative production, blending hip-hop rhythms with futuristic electronic elements. The music industry quickly recognized her influence. By the time of her passing, she had sold over 8 million albums in the US and tens of millions worldwide. At the same time, Aaliyah was building a promising acting career. Her first major film role came in Romeo Must Die, 2000, alongside Jet Li. The movie was a commercial success, earning over $90 million globally, and critics noted Aaliyah's natural screen presence. She also starred in Queen of the Damned, 2002, portraying the ancient vampire queen Akasha, a performance filmed before her death and released posthumously. Tragically, her life ended on August 25, 2001, after filming the music video for Rock the Boat in the Bahamas. A small Cessna 402B aircraft carrying Aaliyah and members of her team departed from Marsh Harbor Airport. Investigators later determined that the plane was significantly overloaded and exceeded its maximum weight capacity. Shortly after takeoff, the aircraft crashed just a few hundred feet from the runway. All 9 people on board lost their lives instantly. The loss stunned the global music and film communities. Aaliyah had been only 22 years old, yet she had already become one of the defining voices of her generation. In the years since, her artistry has continued to inspire singers, producers, and filmmakers around the world. Beyond the fame and the headlines, Aaliyah was widely remembered for her quiet humility and kindness. Her story reminds us that true influence is not measured solely by time, but by the depth of impact a person leaves behind. Chadwick Boseman. The life and legacy of Chadwick Boseman, 43 to 2020, represent a rare combination of artistic excellence, discipline, and quiet courage. Born in 1976 in Anderson, South Carolina, Boseman discovered his passion for storytelling during high school. After attending Howard University, one of the most prestigious historically Black universities in the United States, he studied directing and writing before gradually transitioning into acting. Those early years shaped his commitment to portraying complex, meaningful characters on screen. Boseman's breakthrough came through a series of powerful biographical roles. In 42, 2013, he portrayed baseball legend Jackie Robinson, the first Black athlete to play in Major League Baseball in the modern era. The film grossed over $97 million worldwide and introduced Boseman to international audiences. He followed that success by embodying soul music icon James Brown in Get On Up, 2014, and civil rights lawyer Thurgood Marshall in Marshall, 2017. Each performance reflected his dedication to honoring influential figures in Black history. However, it was his role as King T'Challa in Marvel's Black Panther, 2018, that transformed Boseman into a global symbol. The film became a cultural milestone, earning more than $1.34 billion at the worldwide box office, and becoming the first superhero movie ever nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. For many audiences, particularly young viewers of African descent, the character represented strength, intelligence, and pride rarely seen in blockbuster cinema. What the public did not know was that Boseman had been privately battling colon cancer since 2016. Diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, he continued working while undergoing surgeries and chemotherapy. During this period, he filmed several physically demanding productions, including Black Panther, Avengers: Infinity War, Avengers: Endgame, and Da 5 Bloods. Few people outside his closest circle were aware of the struggle he endured. On August 28, 2020, Boseman passed away at his home in Los Angeles as the illness progressed to stage 4 colon cancer. His family later confirmed that he had fought the disease for 4 years with remarkable determination. The news sent waves of grief across the world. Yet Boseman's legacy extends far beyond any single film. Through his roles, he celebrated historical courage and cultural pride, reminding audiences that representation and storytelling carry immense power. In many ways, Chadwick Boseman embodied the very heroes he portrayed. His journey teaches us that true strength is often quiet, and that dignity in the face of adversity can inspire millions long after the final curtain falls. Bernie Mac, Bernard Jeffrey McCullough. The life of Bernie Mac, 50 to 2008, was a testament to perseverance, authenticity, and the power of laughter. Born Bernard Jeffrey McCullough in Chicago, Illinois, in 1957, he grew up on the city's South Side, an environment that deeply shaped his sense of humor and storytelling. Raised by a single mother who worked hard to support the family, Mac faced financial hardship and personal loss early in life. Yet even during difficult moments, he developed the sharp wit and bold personality that would later define his career. Bernie Mac began performing stand-up comedy in Chicago clubs during the 1980s. His breakthrough moment arrived in 1990 when he won the Miller Lite Comedy Search, which introduced him to a national audience. But it was his appearance in The Original Kings of Comedy, 2000, alongside Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and D.L. Hughley, that cemented his reputation as one of the most electrifying comedians of his generation. His famous line, "I ain't scared of you," delivered with fearless confidence, became one of the most memorable moments in stand-up history. Hollywood soon recognized his charisma and comedic timing. Bernie Mac built a successful acting career with roles in films such as Friday, 1995, Life, 1999, with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, and the blockbuster Ocean's 11 trilogy, 2001 to 2007. His performances combined humor with warmth, often portraying characters who felt both larger than life and deeply relatable. Perhaps his most beloved project was the television sitcom The Bernie Mac Show, which aired from 2001 to 2006 on Fox. Inspired by his real life, the show followed Mac as he unexpectedly became the guardian of his sister's children. The series ran for 5 seasons, won a Peabody Award, and earned Mac 2 Emmy nominations and a Golden Globe nomination. Audiences connected with the show's blend of comedy and heartfelt family themes. Despite his vibrant energy on stage and screen, Mac had long struggled with sarcoidosis, an inflammatory disease that primarily affects the lungs. Although the condition was usually under control, complications emerged in 2008 when he developed pneumonia. He was hospitalized in Chicago, and on August 9, 2008, Bernie Mac passed away at the age of 50. His sudden death shocked fans around the world, yet his legacy continues through the joy he brought to millions of viewers. Bernie Mac's journey reminds us that humor can be a powerful force for resilience, and that even in the face of life's hardships, laughter can unite people across every background. Michael K. Williams. The career of Michael K. Williams, 54 to 2021, stands as one of the most compelling examples of transformation and artistic depth in modern television and film. Born in Brooklyn, New York in 1966, Williams grew up in the Vanderveer housing projects, where life could be both challenging and unpredictable. As a young man, he discovered a passion for dance and performance, eventually working as a backup dancer for artists like Madonna and George Michael. That early experience in the entertainment world helped him develop the discipline and stage presence that would later define his acting career. Williams' path to acting was not conventional. A life-altering moment occurred in his early 20s when he was involved in a bar fight that left a distinctive scar across his face, a feature that later became one of his most recognizable traits on screen. Rather than hindering his opportunities, the scar gave him a unique presence that casting directors remembered. His defining role arrived in 2002 when he was cast as Omar Little in HBO's groundbreaking series, The Wire. Omar was a complex character, an outlaw who robbed drug dealers yet lived by his own moral code. Williams's performance was widely praised for its intensity, vulnerability, and authenticity. The character quickly became one of the most iconic figures in television history, often cited by critics as one of the greatest performances ever seen on a drama series. Following the success of The Wire, Williams built a diverse body of work across film and television. He appeared in acclaimed productions such as Boardwalk Empire, 12 Years a Slave, The Night of, and Lovecraft Country. For his role in Lovecraft Country, he received an Emmy nomination, further recognizing his ability to portray emotionally layered characters. Despite his professional success, Williams openly spoke about his personal struggles with addiction. Throughout his life, he worked hard to overcome those challenges and often used his platform to advocate for compassion and recovery. Many colleagues described him as generous, thoughtful, and deeply committed to mentoring young artists. On September 6, 2021, Michael K. Williams was found deceased in his Brooklyn apartment. The New York City medical examiner later determined that he died from an accidental overdose involving fentanyl-laced substances, a tragic reminder of the broader opioid crisis affecting communities worldwide. The news of his passing prompted tributes from across the entertainment industry. Fellow actors, directors, and fans remembered him not only for his extraordinary talent, but also for his kindness and honesty. Michael K. Williams left behind a body of work that continues to resonate with audiences. His performances demonstrated that storytelling can illuminate the complexities of human experience, and that empathy, both on screen and in real life, remains one of the most powerful forms of connection. Whitney Houston. Few voices in modern music history have reached the level of power and influence achieved by Whitney Houston, 48 to 2012. Born in Newark, New Jersey in 1963, Houston was raised in a deeply musical family. Her mother, gospel singer Cissy Houston, and her cousin, legendary singer Dionne Warwick, helped surround her with music from an early age. By the time Whitney was a teenager, it was already clear that she possessed an extraordinary vocal range and control that would later earn her the nickname, The Voice. Houston's debut album, Whitney Houston, 1985, immediately changed the landscape of pop and R&B music. It became the best-selling debut album by a female artist at the time, producing major hits such as Saving All My Love for You, How Will I Know, and Greatest Love of All. She followed that success with Whitney, 1987, which made history as the first album by a woman to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Over the years, Whitney Houston would sell more than 200 million records worldwide, making her one of the best-selling music artists of all time. Houston also built a successful acting career. Her film debut came with The Bodyguard, 1992, opposite Kevin Costner. The movie became a global hit, earning over $400 million at the box office, and its soundtrack became the best-selling film soundtrack in history, largely due to Houston's unforgettable performance of I Will Always Love You. She later starred in films such as Waiting to Exhale, 1995, and The Preacher's Wife, 1996, demonstrating her ability to move between music and film with remarkable ease. However, behind the public success, Houston faced personal struggles. Over the years, she battled substance abuse and health challenges, issues that increasingly affected her career and personal life. Despite those difficulties, she continued performing and had begun preparing for a new chapter in her life. Tragically, on February 11, 2012, Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in the bathtub of her room at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. She was in town for events leading up to the Grammy Awards. The Los Angeles County coroner later concluded that she drowned accidentally, with heart disease and cocaine use listed as contributing factors. Her sudden passing shocked fans around the world. Whitney Houston left behind a musical legacy that still shapes artists today. Beyond her extraordinary voice, she represented grace, determination, and emotional honesty. Her story reminds us that even the brightest stars are human, and that compassion and understanding are just as important as celebration when remembering those who inspired millions. Bobby Christina Brown. The story of Bobby Christina Brown, 22 to 2015, is one of the most heartbreaking chapters in modern celebrity history. Born in 1993, Bobby Christina was the only child of two global music icons, Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. Growing up in the spotlight, she spent much of her life surrounded by fame, cameras, and public attention. Yet behind the headlines was a young woman searching for her own identity while carrying the weight of an extraordinary legacy. As the daughter of one of the greatest vocalists in history, Bobby Christina naturally developed an interest in music and performance. She occasionally appeared with her mother on television and attended industry events from a young age. In the early 2000s, she also appeared on the family reality television series, Being Bobby Brown. Although she never had the opportunity to fully establish a professional career, those close to her often described her as someone who hoped to pursue singing and acting. Her life changed dramatically in February 2012 when her mother, Whitney Houston, passed away. The loss deeply affected Bobby Christina, who had shared an extremely close bond with her. Friends and family later revealed that coping with such a public and personal tragedy at a young age was incredibly difficult. 3 years later, another devastating event unfolded. On January 31, 2015, Bobby Christina was found unresponsive in a bathtub in her home in Roswell, Georgia. Emergency responders transported her to a hospital where doctors placed her in a medically induced coma due to severe brain damage caused by lack of oxygen. Despite months of medical care and rehabilitation attempts, she never regained consciousness. After nearly 6 months on life support, Bobby Christina was moved to hospice care as her condition continued to decline. She passed away on July 26, 2015, at the age of 22. The medical examiner later ruled her death as the result of drowning combined with drug intoxication, with substances including alcohol and medications contributing to the tragedy. The similarities between Bobby Christina's death and the circumstances surrounding her mother's passing deeply shocked the public. For many people, the loss of such a young life highlighted the emotional challenges faced by those growing up in the intense environment of celebrity culture. Bobby Christina's story serves as a reminder that fame does not shield anyone from pain or vulnerability. Behind every headline is a human life, and her memory continues to encourage conversations about mental health, family support, and compassion for those navigating grief in the public eye. Nate Dogg, Nathaniel Dwayne Hale. The unmistakable voice of Nate Dogg, 41 to 2011, helped define the sound of West Coast hip-hop for more than a decade. Born Nathaniel Dwayne Hale in Long Beach, California, in 1969, he grew up in a community where music and street culture often intertwined. As a teenager, he sang in a church choir and later served briefly in the United States Marine Corps, an experience that exposed him to discipline but ultimately confirmed that music was his true path. Nate Dogg's career began to take shape in the early 1990s when he formed a group called 213 with his cousins Snoop Dogg and Warren G, named after the Long Beach area code. Although the trio's early recordings circulated mostly underground, they quickly attracted attention in the emerging West Coast rap scene. Nate Dogg's smooth, melodic voice stood out from traditional rap vocals, creating a style that blended singing with hip-hop rhythm. His breakout moment arrived in 1994 when he appeared on Warren G's single, Regulate. The song became a massive success, reaching #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and selling over 1 million copies in the United States. From that point forward, Nate Dogg became one of the most sought-after collaborators in hip-hop. His distinctive hooks appeared on countless hits, including The Next Episode by Dr. Dre, Area Codes by Ludacris, and 21 Questions by 50 Cent. These collaborations helped shape the sound of hip-hop during the late 1990s and early 2000s, proving that melodic choruses could elevate rap music into mainstream success. While primarily known as a recording artist, Nate Dogg also made appearances in film and television, further expanding his presence in entertainment. His contributions were widely respected within the music industry. Many artists considered his voice the perfect finishing touch to a track. However, serious health problems began affecting him in the late 2000s. In 2007, Nate Dogg suffered his first stroke, which impaired his ability to speak and move normally. A second, more severe stroke occurred in 2008, forcing him to undergo extensive rehabilitation. Despite these challenges, friends reported that he remained determined to continue making music. On March 15, 2011, Nate Dogg passed away in Long Beach at the age of 41 due to complications related to multiple strokes. His death marked the loss of one of hip-hop's most recognizable voices. Nate Dogg's legacy continues through the countless songs he helped shape. His career demonstrated how collaboration and creativity can transform an entire musical genre, reminding listeners that sometimes the voice behind the chorus can leave the deepest and most lasting impression. Heavy D, Dwight Arrington Myers. The story of Heavy D, 44 to 2011, reflects the evolution of hip-hop during its early years, when artists were still shaping the culture and identity of the genre. Born Dwight Arrington Myers in Mandeville, Jamaica in 1967, He moved with his family to Mount Vernon, New York, while still a child. Growing up in that vibrant musical environment exposed him to a wide range of influences that would later define his energetic style. Heavy D first gained recognition in the late 1980s as the leader of Heavy D and the Boys, a hip-hop group that combined rap with danceable rhythms and upbeat lyrics. At a time when rap music often carried a harder edge, Heavy D stood out for his charismatic personality and positive energy. The group released several successful albums, including Living Large, 1987, and Big Time, 1989. Songs such as Now That We Found Love became international hits and helped bring hip-hop to broader audiences. Beyond music, Heavy D proved himself to be a versatile entertainer. His natural charm and comedic timing allowed him to transition into acting roles in both film and television. Over the years, he appeared in projects such as Life, 1999, alongside Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, The Cider House Rules, 1999, and the dance drama Step Up, 2006. He also had recurring roles on television series including Boston Public. Heavy D's influence extended behind the scenes as well. He worked as a music producer and executive, helping develop artists and contributing to the business side of the entertainment industry. Colleagues frequently described him as generous and supportive, someone who encouraged younger performers entering the field. Despite his active career, Heavy D's life ended unexpectedly on November 8, 2011. Earlier that day, he reportedly experienced difficulty breathing after returning home to his Beverly Hills residence. Emergency responders transported him to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but he later passed away at the age of 44. Medical examiners determined that the cause of death was a pulmonary embolism, a condition in which a blood clot blocks an artery in the lungs. Investigators also noted that he had deep vein thrombosis, meaning blood clots had formed in his legs and traveled through the bloodstream. Long periods of immobility, such as during extended travel, can sometimes contribute to this condition. The sudden loss of Heavy D shocked both fans and fellow artists. His career had demonstrated that hip-hop could be joyful, inclusive, and full of personality. Through his music and performances, Heavy D helped expand the cultural reach of rap, leaving behind a legacy built on creativity, positivity, and enduring rhythm. Paul Robeson, Jr. The life of Paul Robeson, Jr., 86 to 2014, was closely intertwined with one of the most influential cultural figures of the 20th century. Born in 1927 in New York City, he was the son of Paul Robeson, the legendary singer, actor, athlete, and civil rights activist, whose powerful voice and commanding presence made him an international icon. Growing up in such a household meant that Paul Robeson Jr. witnessed firsthand both the triumphs and the political challenges his father faced during a turbulent period in American history. Although his father achieved worldwide fame through performances in productions such as Showboat and films like The Emperor Jones, Robeson Jr. chose a different professional path in his early years. He pursued higher education and became a computer engineer, working in a field that was rapidly evolving during the mid-20th century. His technical career demonstrated his intellectual curiosity and commitment to innovation, but he never strayed far from the cultural and historical legacy connected to his family. As time passed, Paul Robeson Jr. increasingly dedicated himself to preserving and promoting his father's contributions to art, culture, and social justice. During the Cold War era, Paul Robeson Sr. had faced intense political pressure and blacklisting due to his outspoken views on civil rights and international equality. Robeson Jr. worked tirelessly to document that history and ensure that future generations understood the context of his father's struggles. He became a writer, historian, and lecturer, publishing books and organizing events focused on the life and achievements of Paul Robeson. One of his most notable works, The Undiscovered Paul Robeson, offered readers a deeper understanding of the man behind the public image. Through research, public speaking, and advocacy, Robeson Jr. helped restore recognition for his father's impact on music, theater, and human rights. Beyond his scholarly work, he also appeared in documentaries and educational programs discussing cultural history. Those appearances helped broaden awareness of the Robeson family's role in shaping conversations about race, art, and social responsibility in the United States. Paul Robeson Jr. passed away on April 26, 2014, at the age of 86 in New York. His death marked the passing of someone who had spent decades safeguarding an important chapter of cultural history. While he did not seek the spotlight in the same way his father did, Paul Robeson Jr.'s dedication ensured that a remarkable legacy would not fade with time. His life reminds us that preserving truth in history can be just as powerful as creating it. Sam Cooke. The legacy of Sam Cooke, 33 to 1964, remains one of the most influential in the history of American music. Born in 1931 in Clarksdale, Mississippi, Cooke grew up in a deeply religious household before moving with his family to Chicago. His father was a minister, and gospel music surrounded him throughout childhood. By the time he was a teenager, Cooke had already begun performing in church groups, developing a smooth vocal style that would later transform popular music. Cooke first gained recognition as the lead singer of the Soul Stirrers, a respected gospel group. His expressive voice and emotional delivery quickly captured attention. However, in the late 1950s, he made the bold decision to transition into secular music, a move that initially surprised some of his gospel fans, but ultimately changed the course of his career. In 1957, Cooke released You Send Me, which became a massive hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard charts. That success marked the beginning of a remarkable string of songs that blended gospel emotion with pop accessibility. Throughout the early 1960s, he produced timeless classics such as Chain Gang, Cupid, Twistin' the Night Away, and Bring It On Home to Me. His warm voice and sophisticated songwriting helped shape what would later become known as soul music. Cooke was also known for his business awareness. At a time when many artists lacked control over their work, he founded his own record label and publishing company, seeking greater ownership of his music. His independence inspired many musicians who followed. In addition to music, Cooke occasionally appeared in film and television projects, and industry observers believed he could expand further into acting. His charisma and confidence suggested a performer capable of succeeding in multiple areas of entertainment. Yet his life ended under mysterious circumstances. On the night of December 11, 1964, Cooke was fatally shot at the Hacienda Motel in Los Angeles. The motel manager claims she fired in self-defense after a confrontation. Authorities ruled the shooting justifiable homicide, but the circumstances surrounding the incident have remained the subject of debate for decades. At just 33 years old, Sam Cooke had already transformed American music. Shortly before his death, he recorded A Change Is Gonna Come, a powerful song inspired by the civil rights movement. Today, it is widely regarded as one of the most important recordings in music history. Cooke's influence extends far beyond his brief lifetime. His artistry helped bridge gospel, rhythm and blues, and pop, opening new possibilities for generations of singers. His story reminds us that music can become a voice for hope, dignity, and social progress. Otis Redding. The powerful voice of Otis Redding, 26 to 1967, helped define the sound of soul music during the 1960s, leaving a legacy that continues to influence artists across generations. Born in 1941 in Dawson, Georgia, Redding grew up in a working-class family before moving to Macon, Georgia, where his musical journey truly began. Like many soul singers of his era, he started by performing in church choirs and local talent shows, developing the emotional vocal style that would later become his trademark. Redding's early performances revealed an ability to communicate raw emotion through music. His breakthrough came in 1962 with a recording of These Arms of Mine, released by Stax Records, a label that played a crucial role in shaping the Southern soul sound. Over the next few years, Redding recorded a series of memorable songs that blended gospel intensity with rhythm and blues energy. Tracks such as Try a Little Tenderness, Respect, and I've Been Loving You Too Long showcased his powerful delivery and heartfelt expression. By the mid-1960s, Redding had become one of the most respected performers in the music industry. His dynamic stage presence earned him enthusiastic audiences across the United States and Europe. One of the most famous moments of his career came in 1967 when he performed at the Monterey International Pop Festival in California. The performance introduced him to a broader rock audience and confirmed his reputation as one of the most electrifying live performers of his time. Although music was his primary focus, Redding also appeared in television programs and was beginning to explore opportunities in film. Many industry observers believed he had the charisma and emotional depth needed to succeed in multiple areas of entertainment. Tragically, his career was cut short on December 10, 1967. Redding was traveling with members of his band, the Bar-Kays, aboard a Beechcraft H-18 aircraft en route to Madison, Wisconsin. During the flight, poor weather conditions made navigation extremely difficult. The plane crashed into Lake Monona, just a few miles from its destination. Redding and several band members lost their lives in the accident. Only 3 days before the crash, Redding had recorded what would become his most famous song, Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay. Released after his death in 1968, the song became the first posthumous single to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Though he lived only 26 years, Otis Redding's music continues to resonate with audiences worldwide. His voice captured both joy and vulnerability, reminding listeners that true artistry often lies in the ability to express the deepest human emotions. Florence Ballard. The story of Florence Ballard, 32 to 1976, reflects both the dazzling success and the hidden struggles that sometimes accompany fame. Born in Detroit, Michigan in 1943, Ballard grew up in a city that would soon become the heart of a musical revolution. Detroit's emerging Motown record scene offered opportunities for young performers, and Ballard quickly demonstrated that she possessed the voice and confidence to stand out. As a teenager, she formed a singing group with friends Mary Wilson and Diana Ross. Originally known as the Primettes, the trio eventually signed with Motown Records and became the Supremes. During the 1960s, the group rose to extraordinary fame, becoming one of the most successful female vocal groups in music history. With hits like Where Did Our Love Go?, Baby Love, and Stop in the Name of Love, the Supremes dominated radio and helped Motown expand into a global cultural phenomenon. Ballard's strong voice and vibrant personality played an important role in the group's early identity. However, as the group's popularity grew, Motown founder Berry Gordy increasingly focused attention on Diana Ross as the lead singer and central figure. This shift created tension within the group, and Ballard reportedly struggled with frustration and disappointment as her role diminished. By 1967, personal challenges began affecting her career. She missed several performances and faced conflicts within the group. Eventually, Motown replaced her with another singer, marking the end of Ballard's time with the Supremes. The departure proved emotionally and financially devastating. After leaving the group, Ballard attempted to launch a solo career and signed with another record label. Unfortunately, the project never achieved the commercial success she had hoped for. Without the support structure of Motown, she faced increasing financial difficulties and personal struggles. At one point, she relied on public assistance while raising her children. Despite these hardships, Ballard remained determined to rebuild her life. Friends later recalled that she had begun planning a musical comeback and had renewed confidence in her future. Tragically, on February 22, 1976, Florence Ballard passed away at the age of 32 in Detroit. The cause of death was cardiac arrest associated with coronary thrombosis, a condition involving blood clots affecting the heart. Although her life ended far too soon, Florence Ballard's contributions to music remain significant. As a founding member of the Supremes, she helped shape one of the most influential groups in popular music history. Her story reminds us that behind the glitter of fame are real lives filled with challenges, and that resilience and talent deserve recognition long after the spotlight fades. The story of Rick James, 56 to 2004, is one of explosive creativity, groundbreaking music, and a personality that left an unforgettable mark on popular culture. Born James Ambrose Johnson Jr. in Buffalo, New York in 1948, Rick James grew up in a household where music and resilience shaped his early life. His mother worked as a dancer and entertainer, exposing him to performance at a young age. By the time he reached adolescence, he was already immersed in the world of rhythm, blues, and rock. Before becoming famous, James experienced a winding path that included joining the U.S. Navy, though he later left the service without authorization while pursuing music. In the late 1960s, he moved to Canada, where he formed the rock band The Mina Birds, a group that at one point included a young Neil Young as a bandmate. Although the band never achieved major commercial success, the experience gave James valuable exposure to the recording industry. His breakthrough came after signing with Motown Records in the late 1970s. In 1978, Rick James released the album Come Get It, which introduced audiences to his distinctive fusion of funk, soul, and rock. Songs like You and I and Mary Jane quickly gained popularity, but it was his 1981 album, Street Songs, that transformed him into a global star. The record produced the iconic hit Super Freak, a track whose infectious bass line and energetic style became one of the defining sounds of funk music. Rick James also developed a reputation as an influential producer and collaborator. He worked with artists such as Tina Marie, helping guide her career, and contributed to shaping the sound of funk during the 1980s. His music crossed genres and influenced later generations of hip-hop artists, particularly after MC Hammer sampled Super Freak for the smash hit You Can't Touch This. His work reminds listeners that creativity can push boundaries and redefine musical styles, leaving rhythms and melodies that endure long after the spotlight fades. Eazy-E, Eric Lynn Wright. Few figures in hip-hop history were as influential in shaping a musical movement as Eazy-E, 30 to 1995. Born Eric Lynn Wright in Compton, California, in 1964, he grew up in a neighborhood where economic hardship and street violence were part of daily life. Those experiences would later shape the raw, unapologetic storytelling that defined his music. Before entering the music industry, Wright was involved in street activities during his youth. However, he eventually decided to pursue a different path, investing money into a small recording company that would become Ruthless Records. That decision would prove historic, as it helped launch one of the most influential groups in rap history. In 1987, Eazy-E co-founded NWA, Niggas with Attitude, alongside artists including Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, MC Ren, and DJ Yella. Their music introduced the world to a new style known as gangster rap, characterized by direct and often controversial depictions of life in urban communities. The group's 1988 album, Straight Outta Compton, became a cultural milestone, featuring powerful tracks such as the title song, Straight Outta Compton, and F Astra the Police. While critics debated the album's confrontational lyrics, supporters argued that NWA was simply portraying realities that mainstream society often ignored. The album eventually became one of the most influential records in hip-hop history and has been preserved in the U.S. Library of Congress National Recording Registry for its cultural significance. Eazy-E's distinctive high-pitched voice and confident delivery helped define the group's sound. In addition to his work with NWA, he released solo projects including Easy Does It, 1988, which achieved double platinum certification in the United States. Beyond performing, Wright played a key role as a music entrepreneur. Through Ruthless Records, he helped launch or support the careers of several artists, demonstrating a sharp business instinct that extended beyond the recording booth. However, in early 1995, Eazy-E was hospitalized in Los Angeles after experiencing severe respiratory problems. Doctors diagnosed him with HIV, which had progressed to AIDS. The announcement shocked fans and the music industry alike, as many people were unaware he had been living with the virus. Only weeks after revealing his condition publicly, Eazy-E passed away on March 26, 1995, at the age of 30. Shortly before his death, he released a statement encouraging people to learn about HIV and practice safer behaviors. That message carried lasting importance, highlighting how awareness and education can save lives. Although his life ended far too early, Eazy-E's influence continues to shape hip-hop culture. The life and career of Lisa "Left Eye" Lopez, 30 to 2002, reflected both creative brilliance and a fearless individuality that helped shape the sound of 1990s R&B and hip-hop. Born Lisa Nicole Lopez in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in 1971, she spent much of her childhood moving frequently because her father served in the U.S. Army. Despite those changes, music remained a constant in her life. By her teenage years, she had already begun performing and experimenting with songwriting. Lopez rose to international fame as a founding member of the R&B trio TLC alongside Tion, T-Boz, Watkins, and Rosanda "Chili" Thomas. Formed in the early 1990s, the group quickly stood out for its bold image, empowering lyrics, and unique blend of hip-hop, soul, and pop. TLC's debut album, Ooh, on the TLC Tip, 1992, introduced audiences to the trio's energetic style and produced several successful singles. Their true global breakthrough arrived with the 1994 album Crazy Sexy Cool. The record became one of the most successful R&B albums of all time, eventually selling over 23 million copies worldwide. Songs like Creep, Waterfalls, and Red Light Special dominated radio and earned TLC multiple Grammy Awards. Lopez played a crucial role in shaping the group's identity, delivering rap verses and contributing creative ideas that helped define their sound and visual style. Known for her outspoken personality, Lopez often pushed boundaries both artistically and personally. She explored solo projects and creative ventures beyond TLC, including acting appearances and developing her own music. Her colorful style, often marked by a stripe or decoration beneath her left eye, became part of her signature image and inspired her stage name. By the early 2000s, Lopez had begun working on new music and documentary projects. She traveled to Honduras in 2002 to record material and explore a spiritual retreat. During that trip, tragedy struck. On April 25, 2002, Lopez was driving an SUV on a rural road when she swerved to avoid another vehicle. The car lost control and rolled multiple times. Because she was not wearing a seatbelt, she was thrown from the vehicle and died from severe head injuries. Lisa Lopez was just 30 years old. Her passing shocked fans around the world, particularly because TLC had recently reunited for new projects. Today, the group remains one of the best-selling female groups in music history, with more than 65 million records sold worldwide. Lisa "Left Eye" Lopez is remembered not only for her music, but also for her fearless authenticity. Her story reminds us that creativity often comes from those brave enough to express themselves without limits. Phyllis Hyman. The voice of Phyllis Hyman, 45 to 1995, carried a depth of emotion that made her one of the most distinctive singers in soul and jazz-influenced R&B. Born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1949, Hyman grew up in a large family where music was part of daily life. From an early age, she showed remarkable vocal ability, singing in school groups and local performances, while developing the elegant stage presence that would later define her career. Her professional journey began during the 1970s when she performed with the band Phyllis Hyman and the P/H Factor, eventually attracting attention from record labels. Her rich contralto voice, warm, powerful, and expressive, quickly distinguished her from many contemporary singers. By the late 1970s, she had signed a recording contract and released her debut albums, gaining recognition within the R&B and jazz communities. Throughout the 1980s, Hyman recorded a series of respected albums and became known for emotionally resonant songs such as You Know How to Love Me, Living All Alone, and Old Friend. Her music often explored themes of love, heartbreak, and resilience, allowing listeners to connect deeply with her performances. Many critics praised her ability to convey vulnerability while maintaining remarkable vocal control. Beyond recording music, Hyman also demonstrated her talents in acting and stage performance. She appeared in the 1988 Spike Lee film School Days and performed on Broadway in the musical Sophisticated Ladies, which celebrated the music of Duke Ellington. These roles revealed another dimension of her artistic abilities and expanded her influence within the entertainment world. Despite her professional accomplishments, Hyman privately struggled with depression and bipolar disorder. During a period when mental health was less openly discussed, particularly within the music industry, these challenges were often misunderstood or overlooked. Friends later described her as a deeply thoughtful and sensitive person who sometimes felt overwhelmed by the pressures of fame and personal expectations. On June 30th, 1995, the day she was scheduled to celebrate her 46th birthday, Phyllis Hyman was found deceased in her New York apartment. Authorities determined that she died from a combination of sleeping pills and alcohol, and evidence indicated that she had taken her own life. The loss of such a gifted performer deeply saddened fans and fellow musicians. Yet Phyllis Hyman's music continues to resonate with listeners who appreciate the emotional honesty in her voice. Her legacy encourages a broader conversation about compassion and mental health. Remembering her story reminds us that even the most talented individuals sometimes struggle silently, and that understanding and support can make a profound difference in people's lives. LaShawn Daniels. The career of LaShawn Daniels, 41 to 2019, may not have always placed him in the spotlight, but his influence on modern pop and R&B music was enormous. Born LaShawn Amin Daniels in Newark, New Jersey in 1977, he developed a love for music at a young age. Growing up in a church environment, he learned the foundations of harmony, melody, and emotional storytelling, skills that would later help him become one of the most respected songwriters in the music industry. Daniels began writing songs during his teenage years, and by the late 1990s, he had already started collaborating with major producers and artists. His breakthrough arrived when he worked with producer Rodney Darkchild Jerkins, a partnership that would produce some of the most memorable R&B songs of the era. Together, they helped shape a sound that dominated radio in the late 1990s and early 2000s. One of Daniels' most famous contributions was co-writing Say My Name for Destiny's Child. Released in 1999, the song became a global hit, winning 2 Grammy Awards in 2001, including Best R&B Song. The track not only elevated Destiny's Child's career, but also showcased Daniels' gift for crafting lyrics that captured emotional tension and relationship dynamics. His songwriting catalog expanded rapidly. Daniels helped write the chart-topping duet The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica, a song that spent 13 consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. He also contributed to Jennifer Lopez's debut single, If You Had My Love, another major hit that reached #1 in 1999. Over the years, Daniels collaborated with some of the biggest names in music, including Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Toni Braxton, and Lady Gaga. In addition to songwriting, Daniels occasionally appeared on television and music-related programs, sharing his creative process and encouraging new artists. His colleagues often described him as generous, passionate, and deeply committed to helping others succeed in the industry. Tragically, on September 3, 2019, LaShawn Daniels was involved in a car accident in South Carolina while traveling on Interstate 85. He died at the age of 41, leaving behind a wife, children, and a remarkable musical legacy. Although many listeners may not have known his name, millions have sung along to the songs he helped create. Daniels' work reminds us that behind every great hit is often a talented songwriter whose creativity shapes the soundtrack of people's lives. Minnie Riperton. The voice of Minnie Riperton, 31 to 1979, remains one of the most extraordinary in the history of popular music. Born Minnie Julia Riperton in Chicago, Illinois, in 1947, she grew up in a family that strongly encouraged artistic expression. Her parents recognized her musical potential early and enrolled her in vocal and ballet training while she was still a child. Those lessons helped her develop an exceptional vocal ability that would later become her signature. Riperton possessed a 5-octave vocal range, an extremely rare gift that allowed her to reach notes far beyond the range of most singers. Her ability to sing in the whistle register, the highest register of the human voice, gave her performances a delicate, almost ethereal quality that captivated audiences. Her early career began in the 1960s when she joined the Chicago-based soul group The Gems, gaining valuable studio and stage experience. However, it was her solo work during the 1970s that brought her international recognition. Riperton collaborated with legendary producer Stevie Wonder, who helped shape the sound of her 1974 album, Perfect Angel. From that album came her most famous song, Lovin' You. The track became a worldwide success, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1975. The song's gentle melody and Riperton's remarkable vocal performance made it one of the most recognizable love songs of the decade. Even decades later, it remains a timeless classic. Beyond her music career, Riperton was also a devoted mother. She and her husband, songwriter Richard Rudolph, had 2 children. One of them, Maya Rudolph, would later become a well-known actress and comedian, particularly through her work on Saturday Night Live. In 1976, at the height of her career, Riperton received devastating news when doctors diagnosed her with breast cancer. Rather than withdrawing from public life, she chose to speak openly about the illness. At a time when many people avoided discussing cancer publicly, Riperton became one of the first major celebrities to advocate for breast cancer awareness, encouraging women to seek early detection and medical care. Despite undergoing treatment, the disease eventually spread. On July 12, 1979, Minnie Riperton passed away at the age of 31. Though her life was brief, her influence remains profound. Minnie Riperton's voice demonstrated the beauty and emotional power of music, while her courage in confronting illness helped bring attention to an issue that continues to affect millions of families worldwide. Donny Hathaway. The music of Donny Hathaway, 33 to 1979, remains one of the most soulful and emotionally rich contributions to American R&B and soul. Born Donny Edward Hathaway in Chicago, Illinois, in 1945, he grew up surrounded by gospel music, which profoundly shaped his musical identity. Raised primarily by his grandmother, a professional gospel singer, Hathaway began performing in church at a very young age. By the time he was a teenager, his exceptional talent for singing and playing instruments, especially piano, was already evident. Hathaway later attended Howard University in Washington, D.C. on a music scholarship. Although he eventually left before completing his degree, the time he spent there helped him refine his skills in arrangement, composition, and performance. During the late 1960s, he began working in the music industry as a songwriter, arranger, and session musician, collaborating with artists and producers who recognized his extraordinary musical abilities. His breakthrough as a recording artist came in 1970 with the release of his debut album, Everything is Everything. The album blended soul, gospel, jazz, and orchestral arrangements, creating a sophisticated sound that set Hathaway apart from many of his contemporaries. His warm, expressive voice and thoughtful songwriting quickly earned him respect among critics and musicians alike. One of Hathaway's most celebrated collaborations was with singer Roberta Flack. Together they recorded several iconic duets, including Where is the Love and The Closer I Get to You. Their chemistry produced timeless recordings, and Where is the Love won a Grammy Award in 1973 for Best Pop Vocal Performance by a Duo or Group. Hathaway also recorded songs that became enduring classics, including The Ghetto, Someday We'll All Be Free, and the beloved holiday standard, This Christmas. These recordings showcased his ability to combine emotional depth with powerful musical arrangements. Despite his artistic success, Hathaway struggled privately with mental health challenges, including severe depression and symptoms associated with schizophrenia. During the 1970s, treatment options and public understanding of mental illness were far more limited than today, and his condition sometimes affected his personal life and career. Tragically, on January 13, 1979, Donny Hathaway died after falling from the window of his room at the Essex House Hotel in New York City. He was only 33 years old. Authorities believed his death was related to his mental health struggles, though the circumstances were deeply saddening to those who knew him. Even decades later, Hathaway's recordings continue to inspire musicians across genres. His artistry demonstrated how music can express both pain and hope, reminding listeners that emotional honesty is one of the most powerful elements of great art. Dalla, Roderick Anthony Burton II. The life of Dalla, 21 to 2009, represents a promising career that ended far too soon. Born Roderick Anthony Burton II in Chicago, Illinois, in 1987, he moved to Los Angeles, California during his youth while pursuing opportunities in music and entertainment. Growing up in a vibrant cultural environment, Burton developed an early interest in rap, performance, and storytelling through music. As a teenager, he began recording songs and performing locally, gradually building a reputation for his energetic style and confident delivery. His talent eventually caught the attention of Akon, who signed him to Convict Music, the label responsible for launching several successful artists during the 2000s. Signing with the label represented a major step forward in Burton's career, placing him among a new generation of rising hip-hop performers. Dalla's music blended elements of Southern rap and West Coast influences, reflecting the diverse musical environment of Los Angeles. His early releases, including singles such as Who the F Is That, began attracting attention in the hip-hop community and on urban radio stations. Industry insiders believed that he had the potential to become a major album was completed. Beyond music, Burton also showed interest in acting and entertainment projects, hoping to expand his career in multiple directions. Friends and collaborators described him as ambitious and determined to establish a lasting place in the industry. Tragically, that opportunity was never fully realized. On May 18, 2009, Dalla was at the Beverly Center shopping complex in Los Angeles when an argument reportedly escalated into violence inside the parking structure. During the confrontation, he was shot and killed. Emergency responders transported him to a nearby hospital, but he was pronounced dead shortly afterward. He was only 21 years old. Others later arrested a suspect connected to the incident, and the case was investigated as a dispute that turned deadly. The loss deeply affected friends, fellow musicians, and fans who believed Burton's career had only just begun. Dalla's story serves as a sobering reminder of how fragile opportunity can be. His brief career reflects both the dreams and the risks faced by young artists seeking success in competitive environments. Remembering his life encourages reflection on the importance of creating safer communities where talent and ambition can grow without being overshadowed by violence. These stories are more than moments in history. They are reminders of the brilliance, resilience, and cultural power that these artists carried with them. Even though their lives ended too soon, their voices, performances, and influence continue to inspire people across the world. True greatness doesn't disappear. It echoes through generations. Still, many questions remain. Were some of these tragedies simply fate, or were there deeper forces at play behind the scenes? And how might the world of music and film look today if these legends were still with us? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe these legacies deserve to be remembered, subscribe to Black Excellence Legends for more powerful stories that celebrate history, talent, and truth.